Jade Knight, tell us a little bit about yourself and about your rugby career.
Well, my rugby career started after getting an injury of playing football. So originally I was football orientated for a long time, and unfortunately after an ACL injury I was forced to retire at 16, just after getting my under-19s cap. And at that point I started looking for other sports I could fall into, and having played rugby at a young age, there wasn't many women's teams around, so that gave me the opportunity, and I absolutely fell into rugby with the local club that just had a women's team, and I got my first under-20s cap by second game, so that's how I fell into rugby.
By second game, it's a bit of a natural.
Yes, my second ever game was Wales v England under-20s.
So how did you find the rigours of playing rugby compared to football?
Well, I was a bit of a princess at the start, and to be honest I could probably still be a bit of a princess playing scrum half now. However, it did take me a while to get used to the physicality of the game, and I think when I first started I went up too high too fast, so I took some time out of international, got used to it at rugby, played every position and then got used to it. I think it's one of those games you really need to understand the systems of how it's played.
Okay, so you played 2 games, you got a Wales cap already, you're riding high, and then injury strikes.
So after I started playing rugby and getting back involved, I just kept having problems. My knee, every training session, they were at least collapsed once on me. So we went up, I followed up arthroscopy after arthroscopy, and we kept seeing the ligament was intact, we just couldn't figure out what was going on. So it wasn't until after I played 7 for Wales, pushed through it, got a lot of muscle on, and it just still wasn't right. Had the ACL, PCL shrinkage, and yet we just couldn't figure out what was right. So I moved to Jersey, I had private medical insurance, which was amazing, and I thought, right, let's investigate this one more time, let's give it one more chance. Williams, so I came across a surgeon in London, Andy Williams, and I'm not sure if he's going to talk about his name in there, but so we scanned it with an MRI, and then we discovered that the ACL wasn't in the most efficient position. So we decided to go for one big op, let's give it one more shot. The ACL got ripped out, brand new ACL, brand new PCL, and a lateral tenodesis, and touch wood, it's standing up quite well.
So it's natural after a big injury, and you've had successive injuries, the confidence is a little bit low, you're tentative about going back into the sport, especially as physical as rugby. How much emphasis has been put on rehab, and how have you approached that?
Do you know what? The confidence of my surgeon made such a difference to my coming out the other side, and originally as soon as I got off my crutches it just felt more stable. I don't know whether that was, I don't know what the reason was, but I felt really strong going into my rehab. I'd done so many rehabs before, I knew I was in a good place to get everything done, get a good baseline in, get the strength back on, and then I got good physios at the right timings, got the right S&C at the right timings, and at the moment I'm looking quite good.
Alright, so you mentioned the S&C, so you've arrived here, you've been dealing with these guys. There's been the S&C aspect, obviously the psychological aspect. Talk us through what's been different to training you've received in the past, and what's been beneficial, and what's been different that you've liked.
Well, comparing my first ACL to this ACL, is I had psychological support this time, which has been outstanding, because I think the main battle you have with rehab is definitely a mental approach to things. You need to do the processes and make it a habit. The second thing is your support network, is that ability to keep on going, and that's what I've had with these guys, the S&C. When I've turned up to training when I wasn't playing, it was a case of let's focus on like A's and B's and C's, rather than I won't be on that pitch and I'm not there. So it's always looking at a positive outlook, just getting through
So giving incremental goals,
yes, exactly,
just small little wins to get you to the bigger picture on the pitch.
Yeah, and I tell you what, the biggest thing I've learned with this one was to celebrate all the little wins along the way. Whether that was like a 1 kg gig per month or being able to kick a ball again, is celebrating all the little wins.
It's like a good vibes project.
Yeah.
So that's the psychological aspect. You've obviously been exposed to lots of different training regimes through football, through rugby, through Wales. How has this style of training differed, and the philosophy attached to it? Well,
the first thing I liked was the fact that they thought of the imbalance between my 2 legs, and actually brought that into training, so I do a lot more unilateral things to continuously build on this right leg, even though I'm seemed as past rehab right now. And also the power aspect of it, so instead of me just doing pure strength, we're looking at speed on the bar, which I've never done before, and it's also can allow me to reduce my weights due to my fatigue, and that's helped me to stay away from injuries so far.
Because it's quite different to what you've experienced before, did you question it at the start at all?
Yeah, I did a little bit, because I think the old-fashioned way of training is you put a lot on that bar and you just try and move it, where this is very different, and I think I just wanted to buy into it, and I think I bought into it, and I think I'm starting to see the benefits.
And then the last point in it, obviously there's a wider ethos attached to the training to everyone at the club, but you were specifically looked at. Do you think that goes for every girl in the squad, that there's an overarching training philosophy, but everyone gets individual attention?
As in from the S&C coaches?
Yes.
I think as a player everyone needs different things, and I think that's something because we have so many S&C coaches that they all do very well. I don't feel like anyone gets more than the other and everyone gets the correct input.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like I need a lot more psychological support. I know when not to overtrain, where someone else may need that extra push on the weights.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's done very well in an individual's way.
And what's it been like training with the boys?
Do you know what? When I first started it, I really didn't like it. It was a bit intimidating, to be honest. And then over time, I've actually started really liking it. So
we're not so bad, are we?
No, it's not too bad at all.
And then a slightly less rugby orientated question, more relating to lifestyle. You're very busy training to be a midwife. You're also a mother.
Yeah.
So you're spinning a lot of plates. How has the training been manageable with so many things that are going on in your life? It's
extremely difficult, and I think if I didn't have the support at home from my family, I think it would be even more difficult. However, right now I'm juggling it quite nicely. King's College London are also giving me so much support from the university side of things. So I'm just going to try and get the balance right for now, and each one seems to counteract the other one, which gives it quite a nice time off from one to the other.
Yeah.
However, it can get quite challenging. I think organisation and prioritisation is probably key.
But if you're, so say you're really busy with your job, you're busy with your family, do you find that you're able to factor in time to train, that it's adaptable, that it's not like really stringent, you need to dedicate 90 minutes per day, every day of the week, you can fit bits in here, fit bits in.
Well, I think that the thing that gives me the most benefit from having so many plates is when I train hard now, and I make the most of the time that I'm given. So where before I was able to train 2 or 3 times a day, maybe I wasn't training at my most efficient level. And my time with my son is very important, obviously, but so when I'm away from him, I don't like wasting my time.
Good stuff.